The coffee cup trembles in Tom Chen's hand as he stares at the divorce papers on the mahogany table of Martinez and Associates, the most expensive law firm in the state. 48 hours ago, he was a married man with a baby on the way. Now he's sitting across from a lawyer whose hourly rate could feed a family for a month, and he's desperate enough to afford it. "Mr. Chen," Patricia Martinez says, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against a manila folder that holds his entire future. "Let me be very clear about what you're asking me to do. But we need to go back. Back to 3 weeks ago, when everything was still salvageable. When Tom's life was ordinary, predictable, suffocating in its mediocrity, or so he thought. Hey everyone, before we dive deeper into this story of betrayal and billions, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because this tale of regret will leave you absolutely speechless. 3 weeks. Earlier, Tom walked into Common Grounds Cafe for what he thought was an innocent reunion. Jessica Hammond sat by the window, backlit by autumn sun, looking nothing like the girl who left for New York 15 years ago. She was polished, successful, free. "Tommy?" She smiled. And just like that, he was 17 again. At home, Sarah, his wife of 7 years, couldn't bend to tie her own shoes. 7 months pregnant, exhausted, crying over everything. Their tiny apartment smelled like prenatal vitamins and broken dreams. The lottery ticket sat on the counter every Friday, their wedding date numbers written in Sarah's hopeful handwriting, 06-14-2017, $2 they couldn't afford to waste. Tom started lying. Small lies at first. "Working late, babe." "Client dinner." Traffic was hell. Each lie made the next one easier until he was sneaking into Jessica's hotel room at the Grandshire, where rooms cost more per night than his monthly car payment, while Sarah fell asleep alone. One hand on her swollen belly, the other clutching her phone, waiting for him to come home. But it was the Thursday night conversation that changed everything. Jessica, wrapped in Egyptian cotton sheets that probably cost more than Tom's wedding ring, turned to him with those calculating eyes. "Tom, be honest. Is this what you want? Diapers, daycare, and a mortgage you can't afford? You married so young. Don't you deserve to know what else is out there?" Tom thought about Sarah's tear-stained face, her desperate pleas. "We're supposed to be a family." He thought about the baby, a daughter they'd just found out, and how trapped that made him feel. Trapped. The word echoed in his mind like a prison sentence. "You're right," he whispered into the darkness of that hotel room. "I need to be honest with her." Honest. What a joke. 24 hours later, Tom stood in their living room, the apartment they'd painted together, where he'd proposed, where they'd hung a "Welcome Baby Clara" banner, and handed Sarah divorce papers. "There's someone else, isn't there?" Sarah's voice cracked. 8 months pregnant, she could barely stand, holding onto the kitchen counter for support. Tom looked at his wife, the woman who'd loved him unconditionally for 7 years, who bought that stupid lottery ticket every Friday because it was their tradition, and he lied one last time. "No, I married too young. I need to find myself before I become a father. I can't do this." Sarah collapsed. Not dramatically, not cinematically. She just folded into herself, a broken origami of a person sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe. Tom grabbed his pre-packed bag. He'd planned this, prepared for it, and walked out. He went straight to Jessica's hotel room, ordered champagne, felt relief flood through him like a drug. It was Thursday, November 9th, 2023. He had no idea that tomorrow was Friday. And Sarah, heartbroken and alone, would buy one last lottery ticket. What happens next will destroy him in ways he never saw coming. Friday, November 10th, 2023. 2:47 p.m. Sarah Chen stands in Garcia's corner store, the same bodega where she's bought a lottery ticket every Friday for 7 years. Her eyes are so swollen from crying that she can barely see. Her sister Mia holds her elbow, steadying her pregnant body. "You don't have to do this," Mia whispers. "Forget the tradition, forget him." But Sarah's hand moves on autopilot, reaching into her purse for 2 crumpled dollar bills. Money she literally found in the couch cushions this morning while packing up Tom's things. The apartment is a crime scene of their marriage. His cologne still in the bathroom, his coffee mug in the sink, the ultrasound picture of Clara on the fridge with his handwriting. "Our little girl." "The usual, Mrs. Chen?" Mr. Garcia asks gently. He's seen her every Friday for years, watched her pregnancy progress. Doesn't know yet that there's no more Mrs. Chen. "Yes," Sarah says, her voice barely audible. 06, 14, 20, 17, 23, 45, one last time. If you're feeling this heartbreak, hit that like button. And seriously, subscribe, because what happens in the next 12 hours will blow your mind. Meanwhile, across town at the Grandshire Hotel, Tom and Jessica are planning their future. Champagne brunch, discussion of a weekend trip to Napa Valley. Jessica's talking about freedom, adventure, all the places they'll go now that Tom is unshackled. Tom's phone keeps buzzing. His mother. "Have you talked to Sarah? Is she okay?" His best friend, Marcus. "Dude, what the fuck did you do?" He ignores them all, silences his phone, orders another mimosa. "This is what life is supposed to feel like," Jessica says, running her hand up his arm. "Not obligation, not duty, choice." Tom believes her. God help him, he believes her. 10:47 p.m. Sarah is in bed, Mia beside her. The TV plays in the background, local news, weather, and then tonight's Mega Millions drawing for an estimated $500 million jackpot. Sarah isn't watching. She's staring at the ceiling, one hand on her belly, feeling Clara kick. Wondering how she'll explain to her daughter that Daddy left before she was even born. Wondering if Clara will think she wasn't enough to make him stay. 06, 14, 20, 17, 23, 45. Mia sits up slowly. Her face goes white. "Sarah, what were your numbers?" "Our wedding date," Sarah whispers. "Why?" Mia dumps Sarah's purse onto the bed with shaking hands. Receipts, lip balm, crumpled tissues, and finally, the ticket. She checks it once. Twice. 3 times against the TV screen. "Oh my God, Sarah. Sarah. You won, all 6 numbers. You won the entire fucking jackpot." The room spins. $500 million. Sarah looks at the ticket, then at her sister, then at the TV where the anchor is saying, "One winning ticket sold at Garcia's corner store." That's her store. Her Friday tradition. Her numbers. Tom's wedding date. Saturday, November 11th, 7:23 a.m. Tom wakes up to 37 missed calls. His phone is on fire. News alerts. Local winner of 500 mega millions. His co-worker Jake. "Bro, did Sarah win the lottery?" His mother. "Tom, call me right now." Jessica emerges from the bathroom, her phone in hand, and her entire demeanor shifts. "Tom. Wasn't Garcia's corner store where Sarah bought her tickets? What were her numbers?" Tom's blood turns to ice. "Our wedding date. She played our wedding date every Friday for 7 years." He pulls up the news. Garcia's corner store. The winning numbers. 06, 14, 20, 17, 23, 45. Their wedding. Their anniversary. Their tradition. "Oh my God." Jessica breathes. And Tom sees it. The calculation in her eyes. The dollar signs. "Tom, you're still legally married. The divorce isn't final. You're entitled to half." Tom's phone rings. Unknown number. He answers with shaking hands. "Mr. Chen, this is Patricia Martinez from Martinez & Associates. I'm calling on behalf of your wife. Not ex-wife. Wife. And what Sarah's lawyer says next will haunt Tom for the rest of his life. 3 months later. Family Court, Department 4. The Honorable Judge Rebecca Chen presiding. No relation, but the irony isn't lost on anyone. Tom sits at the defendant's table with his public defender, a tired-looking woman named Ruth, who already told him, "You're not going to like how this goes." Across the aisle, Sarah sits surrounded by what looks like an entire law firm. Patricia Martinez, senior partner, 2 associates, a paralegal. They look like they're preparing for a Supreme Court case, not a custody hearing. But this isn't about custody, not really. This is about consequences. Before we get to the devastating testimony, do me a favor and subscribe. You've come this far into Tom's nightmare, you need to see how it ends. Sarah takes the stand. She's lost the pregnancy weight. Her hair is styled. She's wearing a simple but clearly expensive dress. She holds 3-month-old Clara with a confidence Tom has never seen before. This isn't the broken woman he left crying on the bathroom floor. This is someone who survived him. Ms. Chen, Patricia begins. Sarah took back her maiden name, Thompson. Please tell the court about November 9th. Sarah's voice is steady. My husband served me divorce papers when I was 8 months pregnant. I was on bed rest, high-risk pregnancy. I asked him if there was someone else. He lied to my face and said no. She looks at Tom for the first time. Then he packed a bag he'd already prepared and left. I found out later he went straight to another woman's hotel room. Tom's lawyer objects weakly. The judge overrules. I went into labor alone on December 3rd at 2 a.m. My sister drove me to the hospital. I gave birth without him. He didn't call, didn't text, didn't show up until 3 weeks later after the lottery win went public. Patricia introduces Exhibit A, Tom's phone records, November 9th through December 3rd, 24 days. Not a single call or text to Sarah, but hundreds to Jessica Hammond. Then Patricia drops the bomb. Your Honor, we'd like to call Jessica Hammond to the stand. Tom's heart stops. Jessica enters the courtroom in designer heels and barely concealed contempt. Under oath, Patricia asks one simple question. When did Mr. Chen first contact you after the lottery win became public? Jessica's smile is razor sharp. November 11th, the morning the news broke. He called me crying, saying he'd made a terrible mistake, that he needed to stop the divorce. She pauses for effect. When I suggested he fight for his share of the winnings, he got angry and ended our relationship. He only wanted back in once there was money involved. It's a lie. A calculated, beautiful lie designed to destroy him. And it works. Tom tries to speak. His lawyer holds him back. But the damage is done. Sarah's testimony continues. Your Honor, Tom didn't want to be a father. He said so himself that he needed to find himself before the baby came. The lottery doesn't change what happened. He abandoned his pregnant wife and unborn child. Now that there's $500 million, suddenly he wants custody. She holds Clara tighter. He doesn't want our daughter. He wants access to what she represents. Judge Chen reviews the evidence. Tom's abandonment, his affair, his complete absence during the birth. The phone records. Jessica's testimony. It's damning, and everyone in the courtroom knows it. Mr. Chen, the judge says, her voice carrying the weight of justice, you voluntarily abandoned your pregnant wife. You showed no interest in your daughter until after the lottery win. However, you are her biological father. The ruling, supervised visitation only, 2 hours per week at a family center. Child support based on Tom's actual income, $800 per month, not a penny of Sarah's winnings. No overnight visits, no holidays, no birthdays. As the gavel falls, Tom watches Sarah gather Clara and walk out, surrounded by her legal team. She doesn't look back. Patricia Martinez pauses at the door and turns to Tom. Her voice is quiet enough that only he can hear. She would have given you everything. The money, the family, all of it. You chose to leave when she had nothing. That's what you'll live with. Year 1. Every Thursday at 3 p.m., Tom Chen walks into the Bright Futures Family Center carrying a bag of books, toys, and desperate hope. The supervised visitation room smells like disinfectant and broken families. A social worker named Linda sits in the corner, clipboard in hand, documenting every interaction. Clara is learning to walk now. Wobbly, uncertain steps that Tom captures on the cheap phone he bought after selling his car to pay legal fees. He lives with his parents, sleeps in his childhood bedroom, works at a call center because no one wants to hire the guy who abandoned his pregnant wife for a lottery fortune he'll never touch. Dada, Clara says one Thursday, and Tom's heart explodes with joy and agony in equal measure. That's right, sweetheart. Daddy's here. For 2 hours. Always, just 2 hours. Linda makes a note on her clipboard. When visitation ends, Clara leaves with Sarah's security detail, 2 hours of fatherhood, then back to being a stranger. Tom sits in his 15-year-old Honda Civic in the parking lot and watches through the window as they strap Clara into a car seat that probably costs more than his monthly rent. But here's what destroys him. He never misses a visit. Not once. Not for illness, not for work, not for anything. He shows up every single Thursday because those 2 hours are all he has. Meanwhile, Sarah's life unfolds on Instagram, a carefully curated window into everything Tom lost. Clara's first birthday party at a venue Tom can't pronounce. Swimming lessons at a private club. A nursery that looks like it belongs in Architectural Digest. And then, 18 months after the divorce, Sarah posts a photo that stops Tom's heart. Her and a man at a charity gala. Daniel Park, the caption, reads, pediatric surgeon, widower, father to an 8-year-old son. The comments flood in, you deserve this happiness. Beautiful couple. Clara needs a good father figure. Tom reads that last comment 7 times before he throws his phone across the room. The next Thursday, Clara, now speaking in full sentences, says something during their supervised visit that cuts deeper than any judge's ruling. Danny taught me to swim. Danny makes Mama laugh. Not the man Mama's dating. Danny. A name said with affection, with trust, with the casual intimacy of family. Tom reads her a book about a father and daughter going to the park. Clara falls asleep in his arms. For 12 perfect minutes, she's just his daughter, and the supervised room disappears, and the lottery doesn't matter, and it's just them. Then Linda says, "Time's up, Mr. Chen." 2 years post-divorce, Tom sees them at Riverside Park. He's walking from his Thursday visitation when he spots them by the swings. Sarah, Daniel, Clara, and Daniel's son. They're having a picnic. They look like a family. They are a family. Daniel lifts Clara onto his shoulders. She shrieks with laughter. Sarah leans into Daniel's side, smiling in a way Tom hasn't seen since their honeymoon. The smile he destroyed. Tom stands behind a tree like a creep, watching the life he could have had. Clara calls Daniel Danny with pure love. Daniel kisses Sarah's forehead with easy affection. His son teaches Clara how to pump her legs on the swing. This is what Thursday afternoons look like for them. Not supervised rooms with social workers, not 2-hour time limits, just family. Normal, beautiful, boring family life. Tom takes out his phone, considers approaching, considers begging one more time. Instead, he takes a photo, not of them, but of the park, the autumn leaves, the moment. He'll add it to the album on his phone. Things Clara does when I'm not there. He has hundreds of these photos now, birthday parties glimpsed through, windows, Instagram screenshots, pictures of places she's been that he'll never see. A ghost scrapbook of his daughter's life. As he walks away, he hears Clara's laughter fade into the distance. The ending will show you exactly what Tom's regret looks like 10 years later, and the moral lesson will hit different. 10 years later. Clara Chen Park is turning 10 years old, and for the first time, Tom is invited to the actual party. A decade of consistent Thursday visits earned him this: an invitation to his daughter's birthday at the home she shares with Sarah, Daniel, and her stepbrother, Marcus. Tom parks his Honda, the same one from 10 years ago, next to Tesla SUVs and Mercedes sedans in the circular driveway. The house is what $500 million looks like: sprawling, elegant, but somehow still warm. Through the windows, Tom sees balloon arches, a candy buffet, and 20 kids playing in a backyard that's bigger than his entire apartment complex. Sarah answers the door. She's 39 now, aging like the wealthy do, gracefully, with professional help. But her eyes are kind when she sees him. "Tom, thanks for coming. It means a lot to Clara." "Not our daughter. Clara." As if Tom's genetic contribution is secondary to what really matters: being present. Inside, Clara holds court like the princess she is: designer dress, confident smile, surrounded by friends from her private school. She sees Tom and waves. "Dad, you came." She hugs him quickly, then runs back to her friends. "Dad. Not daddy. Not father. Dad, the title you give someone obligatory, someone peripheral." Daniel approaches, extending his hand. "Tom, good to see you." No sarcasm, no cruelty, just the quiet confidence of a man who won by simply showing up every day for a decade. "Daniel, thanks for having me. Clara wanted you here. That's what matters." Tom watches Daniel navigate the party, refilling juice, settling disputes, and making kids laugh. This is Clara's real father. Biology is just genetics. Fatherhood is the 1,000 tiny moments Tom missed. When they cut the cake, Clara stood between Sarah and Daniel. Tom stands with the other parents, a guest at his own daughter's life. As Clara blows out the candles, Tom notices what's on her birthday crown: Clara Chen Park. She hyphenated. Legally changed her name last year. Sarah told him during a parking lot handoff. She asked if she could. Sarah had said gently. "Daniel's been her dad since she was 2. I didn't know how to say no." After the cake, Clara opens presents. She's polite, grateful, and clearly raised well. She opens Tom's gift last, a scrapbook he's been making for 10 years. Every Thursday, visit documented. Every piece of artwork she made for him. Every milestone he was allowed to witness. "So, you know I was always here," Tom wrote in the inscription. "Even when I wasn't." Clara flips through it, her expression unreadable. Then she looks up at Tom with her mother's eyes. "Thank you. This is really special." Special. Not, "I love it." Not, "This is amazing." Special. The word you use when you appreciate the effort more than the gift. As Tom prepares to leave, Sarah walks him out. They stand on the porch. 10 years of history between them. "She's incredible," Tom says. "You did an amazing job." "We did," Sarah corrects, and Tom knows she means her and Daniel. "Thank you for being consistent with the visits. That mattered." "Sarah?" Tom's voice cracks. "If I could go back." "But you can't." "Not cruel. Just factual." "You made a choice, Tom. We all lived with it." Tom drives home to his apartment. On his fridge, Clara's artwork, a visitation schedule, and a photo of them from last Thursday. He opens his laptop and sees Sarah's Instagram. Clara's party. Everyone tagged. Everyone except him. He opens his journal and writes one final entry. "I didn't lose $500 million. I lost 3,750 days of bedtime stories. I lost teaching her to ride a bike, to swim, to be brave. I lost ordinary magic, because I wanted extraordinary freedom, The lottery didn't destroy my life. I destroyed it the moment I walked out. The moral? Love isn't about what you do for someone when it's convenient. It's about what you do when it costs you everything. Tom learned that truth too late. Don't make his mistake. Show up. Stay. Choose love when it's hard, not just when it's easy. If this story hit you in the heart, subscribe now, because the next story will shake you just as hard. Hit that button. Don't be like Tom. Don't regret missing out.